Okay, a lot of clouds today again. Doesn't seem like there's any rain though, and I think there's some events around the area today. And with that in mind, what did I read today? How about this one, where there was news about drones having guns and weapons equipped to them, as you've been reading in recent times, especially in war situations. This one here says, Ukraine debuts shotgun-equipped drone to counter Russian UAV threat. Modern warfare is about more than just jets and anti-aircraft systems. When traditional defenses proved slow or costly, interceptor drones became essential. These mobile, automated drones hunt enemy UAVs, blocking reconnaissance and attacks, some even carrying shotguns, offering a simple, cheap, and effective way to take down small aerial targets. I'd be wondering if these are actually strong enough to withhold the blasts, for example, like the recoil when they're actually firing it up in the air and all that. So they talk a bit about these. It says what Besomar drones are. Besomar is a Ukrainian company that develops fixed-wing drones. Besomar products are codified according to NATO standards. On the company's website, it is stated that Besomar combines high-quality imported components with Ukrainian innovations, effective, reliable, and at an optimal price. The company's main product is the Besomar 3210N, an air target interceptor drone and the flagship of the line. It is designed to detect and destroy UAVs such as Orlan, Supercam, Zala, Shahed, Garin, and Gerbera. The UAV is equipped with a unique air reverse brake and was created to destroy strike drones and perform other tasks. It can remain airborne for more than 60 minutes in target waiting mode, perform steep climb, and maintain a speed of up to 150 kilometers an hour for 15 minutes. Doesn't sound like it lasts that long, so you better be, I guess, precise in terms of what you're targeting and all that, I would assume, huh? And they give general specs in terms of this drone. It goes at a maximum speed of 200 kilometers an hour, maximum altitude of 5,500 meters, and it can fly about 60 minutes while waiting for a target. And the sprint speed, according to this, is 150 kilometers an hour, and it says up to 15 minutes continuously. And the payload, it can carry 2 kilograms. Funny enough, from reading this, actually, in terms of the fear-mongering here, like in Canada as an example, with things like drones, this is what they usually say in terms of what a toy drone can do. Fly 5,000 meters in the air, for example, take down a huge aircraft and all that. It's not those cold toys you should be worried about overall, in my opinion. If that is the vision of what could potentially happen, it's this stuff you should be worried about. Ones that are designed to be weaponized. And with that, more about, I guess you could say, military type of drones. How about this one? This one says, the Army's new Ultra Overland drone makes its case for deployment. At this rate, it'll be pretty much nothing but drones in the battlefield. This one here says, developed by Overland AI, a Seattle-based company specializing in ground autonomy for defense applications, Ultra, formerly the Overland AI fully autonomous tactical vehicle, is an uncrewed ground vehicle designed to perform tactical operations in contested environments without a driver, remote operator, or even global positioning system support. So fully autonomous in this regards. Although if it's autonomous, is it easy to intercept? It says here though, it says the company's core technologies include the Overdrive Autonomy Stack, Overwatch, and Spark, which collectively enable vehicles like Ultra to operate autonomously in off-road settings and GPS-denied environments. Overdrive in particular empowers ground vehicles with unparalleled mobility and tactical maneuverability, allowing them to execute missions beyond line of sight without human intervention. Ultra's prototype has been refined through field testing and warfighter feedback, ensuring it meets real-world demands. Currently in production, Ultra is positioned as a revolutionary tool for the battlefield, with Overland AI inviting orders for deployment. That sounds kind of scary, for example, especially if it's autonomous. This does sound like something out of the movie where robots are going to be controlling robots, and can you imagine if it goes rogue? This thing isn't going to win any races by the sounds of it anyways, because it says the top speed is 35 miles per hour and the range is about 100 miles. Again, just the fact that this is autonomous, pretty soon it pretty much will be robots fighting each other in terms of a world war, huh? At this rate. And then this was kind of interesting. As you know, recently here, Air Canada had a strike where the workers refused to accept a deal as they didn't think it was fair. And it seems like the government here stepped in trying to force arbitration. But I suppose the union is not going to follow those orders, which is kind of interesting. So you can read this statement first by Air Canada. It says, Air Canada suspends plans to restart operations after CUPE defies CIRB directive to return to work. Air Canada said it has suspended its plan to resume limited flight by Air Canada, and Air Canada wrote today after the Canadian Union of Public Employees illegally directed its flight attendant members to defy a direction from the Canadian Industrial Relations Board to return to work. The airline will resume flights as of tomorrow evening. So when you read all of the union announcements, apparently the union president, Mark Hancock, basically took the back to work order per se and ripped it up, and everyone was cheering, so they're not going to follow these orders. So you can see part of the speech here.
This is the CIRB order. Here's what I'm supposed to do. I'm expected to say, stand down. I'm expected to direct you to go back to work. I'm expected to end this strike.
So as he says, quote, I'm expected to direct you to go back to work. I'm expected to end this strike. That ain't happening. This strike will end when we get a collective agreement that works for our members. So again, the interesting thing about this situation is Air Canada isn't, for example, a government entity. It's a private company. So that makes this situation more interesting. But in general, depending on what side you're on, some people are saying, good, the government has no business, for example, intervening in this situation, whereas some other people are saying they're breaking the law now, so he should go to jail, get a huge fine and so forth. But what would you say in this situation? It's kind of interesting to see what happens actually. Alright, see you guys later.